Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Late news tonight starts with breaking news. President Donald Trump addressing the nation just hours after what he calls a very successful strike on Iranian nuclear locations. ABC News is reporting B-2 bombers have been used in the attacks.
This move from the President of the United States is disappointing.
And in just minutes, we'll have more local reaction. Good evening, everyone. We do thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Chris Thomas. We've got a lot to cover on this busy Saturday. I want to show you a live look at Jerusalem and Israel tonight. The conflict between Israel and Iran started on June 13th when Israel hit nuclear and military sites in Iran. Hundreds have died in the fighting, and tonight the U.S. is now involved. Here's the latest from the Middle East.
Just hours after announcing the U.S. successfully struck 3 nuclear facilities in Iran, President Trump addressing the nation this evening.
Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success.
Last Thursday, President Trump had set a 2-week deadline to decide whether the U.S. would join the Israelis and help strike Iran's nuclear facilities. But the president and his national security team opting to carry out this military operation now.
We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue.
This comes after sources told ABC News multiple B-2 stealth bombers were headed to Guam. Those bombers are the only U.S. aircraft capable of dropping the 30,000-pound explosive that could potentially damage or destroy Iran's Fordo nuclear facility, which is buried deep underground in a mountain. Satellite imagery could help determine whether these strikes took out the Fordo facility, but experts say the only way to really know is to get someone on the ground.
Considering how Mossad has been operating with impunity inside of Iran in an extraordinary way, maybe the Israelis have the ability to go in and to find ways to at least make sure that those bunkers at Fordo have been taken out.
And now concerns over Iran's promised retaliation.
The U.S. State Department says it has been evacuating U.S. diplomats and their families who wish to leave the region. And Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei had already threatened retaliation against the U.S. if it attacked Iran. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Tel Aviv.
Tonight, Governor Gavin Newsom responded to the U.S. attack, saying, quote, following the president's actions in Iran, California's State Threat Assessment Center is actively monitoring for any potential impacts in California. While there are no specific or credible counter threats we are aware of at this time, we urge everyone to stay vigilant. Meanwhile, a local professor says the worst may be yet to come following the strikes on nuclear locations today. But some here in Northern California say Iranian dictators have brought this upon them. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias has more.
Trump's actions today were an act of war, for sure.
Zahar Razavi is a political science professor at Sacramento State University. And as the director of Iranian and Middle Eastern studies, she says President Trump's action Saturday to strike 3 Iranian nuclear sites is damaging to any potential peace. She says it also represents a dramatic escalation in the conflict.
It means that Israel, who had been signaling to the United States and to its allies that they are impatient with the 2-week window that Trump gave for negotiations to Iran. What it means is that now Iran is within its legal rights under international law, under the laws of war, to retaliate against American forces.
A woman who lives in Iran posted this on her social media page, saying in Iran, here the internet closed by government, and ends with they closed our connections to the world. Hamid Azimi with the organization Iranian American Community of Northern California says the people of Iran have already been at war with their own government for the last 44 years.
The Ayatollahs have spent about $2 trillion over the last 30 some odd years on this nuclear bomb project that they have, and they have caused numerous deaths, and now everything, all of the money that should have been spent in Iran is up in the smoke.
He says people are mad at the dictators who have caused this, while some people are celebrating because they believe this will hasten the end of the regime of the Islamic Republic. Professor Razavi says the attacks are causing widespread fear among the Iranian people who live here in Sacramento.
Notwithstanding potential implications for the government itself, people are very worried about their family members by and large.
She believes the attacks on Iran could be turning a regional war into a global war, involving countries and allies like Russia and Pakistan on behalf of Iran.
Donald Trump likes to bill himself as a great negotiator and deal maker, but negotiations and diplomacy at the end of the barrel of a gun or at the receiving end of bunker buster bombs are not historically known to be successful.
Roxana Elias, ABC 10.
And the professor says thousands of Iranians call the Sacramento area home, and they are friends and neighbors.